Hello, everyone. It is another Wednesday night. I'm Melanie Browning with a spotlight interview. Today, I am turning the spotlight on. Oh, notified myself I'm going live. That's awesome. On Sean Berube. He will be joining us here shortly. Oh, and I see that he's here. Awesome. Hello, Sean. Let's get you on here and get you fully introduced. Musa, what's up?
There it
Hey, Sean, how you doing?
is.
Good. Welcome
Great. How are
to
you?
the show. I'm so happy to have you on.
Yeah,
Thanks for
I'm
working
glad to
on
be
your,
here.
there are a couple different times I wanted you on, and you're busy filming and doing exciting, fun stuff. So thank you for scooping me in. I know right now is a busy time with family and everything you have going on. So thank you so very much. I appreciate it. So what
Of
I like
course, no problem.
about everything that you're doing and why I wanted you on was, well, there's several different things. In your bio, it says that you got into acting in 2019 and you already have 70 IMDb credits, including some pretty big names in there. So I wanted to jump in and see, where did this start? Where did the acting bug bite you? Has it been something you've been wanting to do? Give us a little bit of a backstory of where you got into acting.
Sure. So the funny thing is I really had no interest or clue that I would be involved in the acting world, the filmmaking world. It just so happened I did pretty much, what are we looking at, over 20 years in law enforcement with the military and civilian side. And in 2019, a friend of a friend said, "Hey, we're filming an independent horror film. Would you like to be in it?" And I was like, I never really thought about doing that, but he's like, "Come on, man, just come up." I was like, "All right." So I auditioned. They had this like small little role for a sheriff in a Western horror film type thing. So I was like, "Yeah, what the heck, I'll audition." And it's funny because I knew nothing. They were like, "All right, go ahead and slate." And at the audition, and I was like, I just didn't know what they meant. And they're like, "Oh my goodness, you really don't
That's
know what you're doing."
awesome.
so I auditioned for that, a cold read for that sheriff role. They called me back in 2 weeks and they said, "Hey, we're not going to give you the sheriff role." And I was like, "Yeah, I figured." They're like, "But we would like to offer you a lead role." And I was like, "What?" And so they're like, "Will you do it?" And I said, "Sure." So I did it. And as soon as I started filming it, I fell in love with the whole process. And I said, "Man, I want to do this more." So then I just hit the ground running,
Wow,
and
that's
here
like
we are.
so amazing. That really shows how you just hit it out of the park with your audition and coming as you were. So that's just a huge example to people that as you're getting into it, yes, you want to be as prepared as you can, but go, and when you do it, roll with it and do what you can. So congratulations on that. That's really awesome that you did that. I love those success stories, especially right off the bat. It doesn't always happen, but they do exist in your example of that. What from going from
And it really show. It's funny, as sometimes as you get further into it, you get nervous on your auditions, um, and maybe you don't come as yourself. And it just goes to show that be yourself when you do your auditions, because that's what makes you unique. That's what makes you special. So once you start wrapping your head around these auditions and how you think they want it, um, you're actually not as successful. So just be
That's
you.
a
That's what's
good
special
point, because
about
a
you.
lot of a lot of times, like I have this theory that beginner's luck is kind of one of those things that, there's a lot of energy with it and enthusiasm, and a lot of not knowing, I think, is a lot of part of the beginner's luck. And so oftentimes once we start getting into things and realizing how it's supposed to be done, that we get caught in our head a lot more. At least I find that with to be the case in a lot of things that I try. It's, again, not saying don't hone your craft, don't learn how to audition, don't learn these things, but again, just like you said, come as you are and bring what you have, because that's what makes those roles so special and believable and endearing to people watching. So yeah, That's awesome. So how'd you go from that
Yep.
film into like 70? Like, did you just like, I mean, I know you said you hit the ground running, but kind of take us a little bit about how that worked for you.
Sure. Um, well, once I started getting my feet wet with it, I just started like trying to get involved in every independent project I could, every student film I could, anything and everything I could get involved in, just to build up my resume, get that experience, understand the whole process, because I'm the type of person that I want to understand, why is this guy holding this mic over my head? Why is this guy, doing this? Why is this person doing that? I like learning the whole process, because back in the DVD days, for me, I would actually have more interest in the behind the scenes and how it was made
That's awesome.
DVD than the actual movie. So I really like how these things are made. So yeah, I started getting involved in everything, learning the biz. Um, a great program that I did was Hollywood Winter Circle. That has been great to me because it taught me the business, because it's a scary world out there. It's a tough industry to maneuver if you don't understand what you're trying to do and what to look for and stuff like that. So yeah, I did all these student films, independent films, and then I started meeting casting directors and submitting for actual real projects, paid projects. And I actually found this gig over in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I'll never forget, because at this point I'm just used to independent stuff. You're lucky if they give you some pizza for your break, well, I I got invited to go out to Albuquerque for a movie called Army of the Dead
Nice.
for Netflix, and this was a zombie film, and I had no idea what was about to happen. But they invited me out because I put in. They're looking for fit, athletic, muscular people. So I put in for it. They liked my pictures. I drove out there. Oh my God, Zack Snyder himself comes out, shakes my hand, and says, "Hey, thanks for wanting to be in my film." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me right now?" like, where's the prank cameras here?
That's
I'm being
awesome.
punked right now. And so he's like, "So what I'm looking for alpha zombie." I'm fast. So he's telling me, explain to me what he's looking for. They walk like this. Had a stunt guy up, had me practice the walk that he wanted. And so Zach was like, "Yeah, I like it. I'd like to hire you. Are you in?" I said, "Yeah." So then I had to go out a couple more times for fittings and stuff like that, and then for filming. And oh my God, talk about going from a low budget, no budget independent film to a like $300 million budget film. Woo, just blew
Well,
my mind.
yeah.
And I said, "Oh my God,
Well, that's
I could get
awesome
used
because
to
it levels
this."
you up, and you're
And
like, wait,
yeah,
this is where I want to be. How do I get this more consistent?
how do I
That's
here?
awesome. Well, that's, I mean, every
So,
step that you have is
um,
super inspiring. That's awesome. How do you think your law enforcement career and military career, and thank you very much for your service. We definitely appreciate that. How do you feel that that's, or do you feel that it supported your career in moving forward in these big new adventures?
Absolutely. I can't imagine doing this at like 19 years old when I had no life experience and trying to bring certain emotions out on the screen for camera. Um, by having a 20 plus year career in the military and law enforcement, I was able to see many different real life behaviors. I got to interact with these people. I got to see different emotions. Um, I got to understand life a lot better. So now, when I get cast on a film, I bring the real time experience to the camera and to the film and to the role I'm playing, and it really I think helps me out, and it helps the project. And a lot of times, directors and producers, when they found out my background, they love it, because then I can give them advice and tips, and how would real cops do this? How would real cops do this scene in real life? And I explained it to them. I said, well, they would go this way, do that, say this, whatever. And they're like, that's what we're doing. All right, guys, you heard the
That's
man.
awesome.
And it's like, what?
Now, how do you go about
So,
like how do you
and
go about
that,
like introducing that? Is it just kind of known by the time you're hired, just because like people ask like, how do you get this physique, or where is this from, or like, or do you just kind of upfront say, hey, this is what I used to do, and offer it? And have you had any of those conversations where they're like, great, thanks, we got it? Like that's kind of like something that's kind of seems a little
yeah,
could be delicate on set.
yeah. So, I mean, now I have an agent and manager, and a lot of times they use that
Mm.
in my pitch when they pitch me to cast a say, hey, you really want this guy? He's got all this experience, blah blah blah. But jobs that I put in for myself, sometimes it says in the submission looking for people with real life law enforcement experience. Sometimes it doesn't. One example was I was on a movie, War of the Worlds, with Billy Baldwin, Alec Baldwin's brother, and when I got on set, I they had me do this scene with a bunch of other background actors they hired and put them in some military outfits and basically said, all right, come around this corner and you're going to pretend you're being attacked by aliens, these 100-foot robot aliens, whatever. And so I was like, oh, okay, they're not really giving us much direction. Then just come out around the corner. I said, I'm not going to be part of that. So I took it upon myself to teach these background actors real quick. All right, this is what we're going to do. This is a formation. It's a wedge formation. You're going to go like this. You're going to come out. Alpha team, you're going to move. You're going to run while we cover. I explained all this stuff. Well, the director had no idea I was doing this. So when he's ready and the camera's ready, he says, all right, action. Well, we come around that corner, and I'm like, getting us in a formation, aiming commands. They're running while we're covering fire, blah, blah, blah. They say cut, and the director was like, oh, my God, who did that? Amazing. So I explained to him that, oh, well, I told my background. I said, hey, I just walked him through how to do this. And he's like, holy crap, do you want to be a military advisor for the rest of the movie? So it's, yeah.
Well played, very, very
Yeah.
well played. That takes guts, and I think that's another thing that you have going for you with that kind of background. I mean, you've seen so much. I'm sure that that fear factor probably doesn't really hit that threshold so much for you. Is that kind of, have you found that to be the case, or are you able to kind of use that to calm some of those nerves if you do run across them?
Uh, Absolutely. The confidence I bring to my auditions and to the role is seen clearly by producers and casting directors, and it's been like, I remember one time SAS Studios was having open auditions for this film, and I went and I auditioned for this role, and the guy in charge, his name was also Sean. He pulls me aside after my audition. He's like, that was amazing. How do you have that confidence? What's your background? And I told him. He's like, oh, military law enforcement. That makes sense. He says, well, I'm telling you right now, the role you just auditioned for was amazing, but actually I want to cast you on the spot for this other role, Roman,
Mm-hmm.
commander, basically, for the film they're doing. I was like, sweet. So the confidence level definitely goes a long way in this world. They
Yeah.
don't want to see nerves. They
And
want to
that's,
see
yeah, that's another thing.
confidence.
Even if you don't have military background, those watching, those that get nervous going to auditions, just go and own it. Own your space. Like, really just be there and be present. And this is just a wonderful example, time and time again, of maybe you won't get the role, but you'll get something else, or you'll make an impression in someone's mind, and maybe you don't fit something right then and there, but they're gonna who is that person? They're gonna make sure they know who you are. So, man, such great real life examples. Thank you so much. Awesome.
But there, when you mentioned like, hey, this is how we would do it in real life, and they're like, well, that's nice, but it would be for this show, and I was like, all right,
Yep.
okay. So yeah, you just go and I don't pester them. I don't make it like, oh my God, you got to do it this way. I just offer, advice if they want it, and if they do, cool. If not, I'm like, okay, cool.
That's
It's their project.
awesome.
So
Whole bunch of people jumping in here, just sending some waves and hello. Ryan Little's an amazing director out of Utah. And let's see. All right. And so what is it that really inspires you? I mean, looking at your Instagram, you're definitely hands-on. Tactical Sean is a good hashtag there. What really pumps you up about filmmaking? Is there specific, is that the kind of the genre you want to stay in, or is there something else you're aiming for? What is it that really just, that you're now that you're in it and kind of have a feel for it, is there anything that you're going for specifically?
yeah, I've gotten more and more involved in stunts now, and I personally am a fan of the action genre. I grew up with Arnold and Sylvester, all those action movies, and just my go-to. For me, working with special effects people, stunt people, and just making a scene super action-packed, super badass looking. You know, for me, somebody getting thrown through the window and bouncing over a car and jumping off a building, that for me is epicness, and I just love that kind of stuff, and that's what I gravitate towards. I'll do all kinds of different projects, but I definitely gravitate towards
Now, with that
action
in
type stuff.
mind, do you have any tips for people? Because, you know, indie is a wide range of films. And so for people starting off, if they're into that same kind of thing, is there anything that people should be looking for or making sure that they don't see on set if they're wanting to do stunts and that kind of thing?
Yeah, so your bigger productions, network stuff, they're gonna hire official stunt crews. They don't want you to do your own stunts. Even if, like, I was blown away that stuff that they hire people to do stunts for. It's like, because somebody just lightly pushes them, they hire a stunt person to be the one being pushed instead of the actual actor being pushed. Even though you and I could push each other right now with the same strength that they use, the same force that they use, and it'd be no problem at all. But they definitely want a stunt person to do that. So stay in your lane is what I'll say when you're on the big productions. Don't try to do your own stunts. Don't try to be the hero or look cool for them, because it's not going to impress them unless you're hired to do that. On independent projects, that's when you're going to be able to kind of bring it and impress them and do things that you're capable of doing, because they'll allow that.
It does.
That makes sense. You don't want to do that
It does.
production.
Yeah.
Unless you're hired to do it.
And it's so true, but I learned the hard way that if it says minor stunts and it just says, like in the script, falls, things can go wrong. Things can go very wrong. And that's where I learned to stay in my lane because I am not trained. So that's awesome. That's very good advice. I like it. Well, you inspire me. What's that?
Sorry. And if you're in that kind of thing, the best way to get involved in stunts is to move out to LA, start going to the gyms that they go to. And when I say gyms, not like, you know, lifting weight gyms, the gyms like gymnastic type gyms where they can do their flips and bounces and kicks and karate and all that stuff, because all the stunt crews work out at those. And then you start networking, meeting them, start working with them, improving your skills and your talent, showing them what you're capable of. And then you basically become part of a stunt team that is a working stunt team on film. And when that stunt coordinator who has the connections with the producers gets hired for a job, they're like, hey, we need 5 men and 3 women to do these kind of stunts. And then it'll be like, oh, I got just the people. And then that's kind of how you get work.
Awesome. Well, along the way, are there any tips, any additional tips that you would like to share with people that are wanting to get into the business or are in there and don't really know which way to go? Anything that you want to offer along those lines?
Yeah. So most of the people that I see up and coming who are being successful and doing a lot of stuff are the people who are willing to go do those student films, do those independent projects, willing to go to the networking events and just meet people and put themselves out there and have the confidence to say, hey, I'd love to be part of your project. And they're not concerned about how much am I going to get paid. They're concerned more about what kind of project are you doing, understanding what they're trying to achieve in the project and wanting to contribute to that project being successful. Do not go in this business, especially at the start, just trying to find a paycheck. It's not the way it works. You got to build your way up. People like David Rice, um,
David.
Becky Joe Harris,
Yes, she's going to be on too.
myself, The Voice. Yes. These are all people who we kind of started together and been working our way up the ladder. And because we're on the grind, we hustle. We're not afraid to go 16 hours on set, get 2 hours sleep, drive to another state to go film another project, just to drive back as soon as we're done wrapping there because we got to film back in Arizona for another project. So you got to be willing to sacrifice sleep. You got to be willing to sacrifice family time. You got to be willing to put forth the money to get started because this business takes a lot of money. You got to get headshots. That's not free. You got to make demo reels. That's not free. You got to join all these casting sites. Those are not free. You got to pay for your travel, your gas to get back and forth, your food. So it's a very expensive venture, but really rewarding if you really are passionate about this. Because once you start getting on projects, you start seeing the films being made, you start seeing the edited clips. Oh, it's just amazing when you
It
see it
is
all
kind of
come
addictive a
together.
little bit, isn't it? But it's good because it's like you want to be, like I just love contributing in any way, shape, just to the whole group project of things. I absolutely love, kind of like you, like just love knowing what behind the scenes, how it works, and getting to know people, without being in their way, of course. But yeah, it's so much fun.
And the film community is just so warm and friendly. I like, regardless if it's been a student film, an independent film, a network show. Um, I've worked alongside people like Will Smith and Kevin Hart and Wesley Snipes, and not a single one of them has just been like demeaning or mean or not friendly to be around. It's just everybody. It just seems like the community in the film world is just so
That's
warm and
awesome.
friendly. I love it.
That's awesome. All right. Where can people go to find you? Where should we direct them? Where's a project you absolutely loved and that's the place you want people to go check out your work?
I have many films out there on Tubi, Tubi. It's a free streaming service. You can watch a few movies of mine on there. I suggest there because it's free, and there's a lot of entertaining movies on there. Um, got a bunch of stuff on Amazon. A lot of people have Amazon Prime, so you can watch a lot of free stuff there. And then, of course, Netflix. Something I'm really proud of was arresting Saul Goodman on Better Call Saul in the final episode. So really proud of that one if you want to go check that out. But yeah, so and follow me on Instagram. I'm always posting on there little clips, just having fun because we love just making entertaining videos. So I'll put out some entertaining videos there, plus announce when new projects are coming out next year. I'm really excited. I've helped write, create, cast, and produce a pilot episode that we're going to be filming in Tucson the beginning of 2023. So I'm super excited about that because now I'm taking another step in not just acting or doing stunts in a film. Now I help cast and produce this,
Awesome.
and write the script. So I'm really excited.
That's awesome. Exciting. Just getting a little bit more taste as you're moving on. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to look at the comments here. Sean Dillingham, he's
Yeah, let's
he's
check out this card.
talking about you taking classes with him.
Oh, you mentioned a Hollywood program. Yeah, it's called the Hollywood Winners Circle from Wendy Elaine Wright. And I highly suggest anybody who's interested in this business go to Facebook. There's a free Facebook page called Talent Managers for Actors, TMFA. Highly suggest go there, request to be added. And there's like 100,000 people in the group now. It includes all kinds of managers, agents, casting directors, people in the business, working actors, and they're always giving advice, free
And
advice.
they keep a pretty tight
in the
rein
business.
on it. If I'm thinking of the right one, and they keep a pretty tight rein as far as people giving advice, they want it to be the people that they have approved. Is that the right site that I'm thinking of? Yeah, and
That is
there's a
very, because we don't want bad information going out to the people. We want to make sure the people who have been approved to give advice are the ones giving advice. Everybody else is just there to learn.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's a ton of information in there.
Oh my God! Now that's
Absolutely.
another superstar right there. God, I finally got on. I was so excited. We did this short little horror type thing. I played a monster. It had great special effects, and Sean played in it, and we had a blast.
Jealous.
And Sean, dude, your Christmas movie was recently amazing.
That's awesome. I need to get down to I think he's down the valley, isn't he, for his classes? I need to get down there and see all his posts for his classes. I need to check that out.
Sean's another great resource, guys. If you're looking for help with self-tapes, auditions, booking, he's the booking machine right there.
Watch some of his stuff too. So fun.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Let's see. How do you stay busy? Does all your my context. Do all your auditions come from your agent manager, or do you get your own? Great question.
That is a great question. So you want to join these casting sites such as Casting Networks, Actors Access, Casting Frontiers, just three of the top. There's other ones out there, but those are my three top. Go on there. You can start some self-submitting for as many projects as you want and start auditioning like a monster. And once you get an agent manager, the benefit of having them is they're also submitting you for roles, but they have access to like the bigger productions from casting directors who are casting for the bigger shows. Because we, as just like an actor who belongs to the casting site, you won't see the breakdown announcements for like Better Call Saul and new big movies coming out with Brad Pitt, for example. That's going to be your agents and managers who have relationship with casting directors that see those submissions and they submit you for it.
Awesome. Tons of great advice, and Sean's agreeing, I think, with that his movies are amazing. I'm thinking that's what that comment is.
Yeah, Beezy the Voice, Merry Christmas, buddy. Beezy the Voice, I've worked with him. He's an amazing actor and a voice actor. You should get Beezy the Voice on sometime to talk about voiceover acting. Amazing. Rob Kobaski,
Oh my goodness,
if you want special effects, holy crap.
Your work is amazing, Rob. Scary, amazing.
That's true, Sean. We did sweat our butts off.
Oh my goodness. Well, happy Hanukkah. Awesome.
But I definitely all these people, if you're in the business, I mean, you got some great audience members right now. They are working actors. They are voiceover actors. They're special effects people here. I'm just going through the comments right now to see who's here.
Amazing.
Just amazing.
And it just goes to show, you know, just to back up what you said, this film community is so awesome and endearing, and they showed up to support you. This is awesome. Okay, Sean, you
and have a, and I'd be remiss enough to say have a great support system such as husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. Thankfully, my wife is super supportive of me chasing this, because this is a very time-consuming adventure, and I am away from home a lot. So she takes care of the house and the kids while I'm gone, and is very supportive. So
awesome, huge shout out.
Oh, I see Ben Freeze. Ben Freeze is on here. He's also another local filmmaker. Little Green, Psylop. I got to do awesome film with them. Oh, man, you got some good people on here. Good to see you all.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Sean, for all of your time. I've got my support system here too. My 9-year-old's helping out, so definitely have your family behind you. And you want to come say hi real quick?
Yeah,
I get a hand. That's it.
I got a
You know, he has
hand.
no signed paperwork.
Thanks for letting us have your mom for an hour.
Well, thank you so much. I will obviously throw your hashtags and all everywhere where we can go find you in the comments. So please, if you're just joining in, watch back from the beginning. Tons of great information. Thank you so very much for sharing all of your time and all of your tips and hints, and really just like the inspiration of the stories that you have of amazing things on set. So thank you so much, and get to work, go get all those big roles and come back soon. So thank you so much, and be safe out there.
Thanks, Melanie. Thanks for doing this and giving us a platform to come talk about it, because people love to hear this stuff, and it's helpful to other people, and the more people we can help and get in the filmmaking process, the better, because it's such a great industry, and it's just film for so many people means
awesome.
So much.
Thank you so much. Have a good night. Happy holidays, everyone, and take care. We'll see you probably in the new year.
All right, bye-bye now.